has made it through the week. It is Friday night. I hope you guys are doing well this evening. We are still discussing the case of Sebastian Rogers. If you're new to this channel, I'm Bullhorn Betty. This is Sebastian Rogers over here. He's a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from inside his home, a locked home. All windows and doors were locked. And he was with this lady right here. This is his mother, Katie Proudfoot, the only person that was allegedly home with him at the time of his disappearance. We've been discussing this case from top to bottom, inside out. We've really honed in on very specific and key areas when it comes to this case. And we feel that we've got a good idea of what has transpired. Is it going to lead to finding Sebastian? I don't know. I really don't know. But I can tell you what we've laid out is very minor, in my opinion, compared to what law enforcement must have. Okay? And to me, this is very damaging. Very damaging to the Proudfoots. Their story, nothing makes sense. It didn't make sense from the beginning. We haven't heard from Katie or Chris since this stuff is kind of broke open. I feel like there for a while, the community has been held hostage because they don't know how Chris is going to react. And so I think people are starting to want to have their voice heard because they're tired of the deception. I really do believe. I think the community is getting concerned. Like they know what they know. And they're probably looking at this like, they're scared for their, in part their safety as well. Because Chris looks like a mean guy. He stopped neighbors in the road and chastised them for driving on their own damn road. And he's only lived there for a year and a half. As if he owns the damn place. So I kind of understand why, some of the neighbors have been very tight-lipped, haven't wanted to rock the boat. But I just kind of foresee that there's going to be, some more weird things going on. What I'm upset about right now, what's really, really, really not funny, as many of you know, there was a post that was posted on our group page. And it sounds like it was posted on several other groups' pages about a cousin being paid $500. First of all, it was from an account that was literally made the day before the post and had a girl on it with Baconator Ray or whatever it is. I do not believe that that person is the cousin. I think that that is an idiot with a keyboard, if you really want to know my truth. And people have been running with that story. There's another one going around now that Seth spent $12,000, not a stitch of receipts, by the way. And if they are receipts, I would question their authenticity. But hey, it's making the news from idiots that don't know how to tell the truth in their life, spreading around yet again false and misleading information. Just seems like some people just don't get it. They're thick-skulled. This is the kind of stuff. Why is that important when we're true crime and talking about a missing child? You know what I'm saying? It's getting to the point where it's almost ridiculous at this point. Almost ridiculous with the manufacturer, and people are peddling it around as true, and it's really sad. We're going to go over the case. I think what we need to do in this situation is obviously, you know what I'm going to say. Tone it out. Turn it off. Unsubscribe. It's garbage. It has no good business being in the true crime community. However, we are learning some new information. And what does this mean? When we have big, huge new information coming out in a case, it's time to start going back to the beginning. It's time to start going back to the beginning because now we have information of stuff that may not have made sense to us then, but might make a whole lot of sense to us now that we have new information. For example, we have the Amber Alert. Remember the Amber Alert? The Amber Alert required an anonymous a vehicle, okay? It required a vehicle. So let's look back on this. What did we miss? The Amber Alert was initiated on February 27th about noon. So I think that we can anticipate that February 27th before noon, they had not reviewed the footage. They obviously seen this vehicle like we have seen this vehicle. They obviously knew about this vehicle by February 27th by noon when the Amber Alert was released. We also missed a critical factor in this case when the DA showed up within 72 hours of this case. This is a missing runaway case. It's something I personally overlooked. Me, myself, I personally overlooked it. Because we cover so many of these cases, me seeing a DA out on the scene is honestly no big deal to me because we see it all the time in a lot of our cases, our criminal cases. We've seen the DA out there in Audrey Cunningham's case. We've seen the DA out in a lot of these cases, but they truly are criminal investigations. We overlooked an email back on April 16th where a woman was a Chris Proudfoot supporter, Chris and Katie Proudfoot supporter, was trying to explain. I think it was actually the lights, and they said that it was nothing. I can't remember what it was. I know it's in my email somewhere. And she put the source there, and the source was this particular detective at Sumner County Sheriff's Office in the Criminal Investigation Division back in April. So I think the problem here is the fact that we are infighting so much, we're missing critical details. And I have to ask myself why. Why is everybody being sucked into the distractions? These distractions are only helping Katie and Chris Proudfoot. So if these distractions are only helping Chris and Katie Proudfoot and we, the public, Chris and Katie Proudfoot are responsible for the disappearance of this child, why are we engaging in the distractions? I'm just not, I'm having a hard time kind of connecting the dots with this. We have a boy that's missing. We have light phenomenons going on inside his home. We have two parents that their story is ever so changing. And now that we're here on June 14th, I don't even know how many days it is. Let's go to the date and date calendar. I mean, I've lost literally dates between dates. There we go. Let's just see. Count days. No, we want to, yeah. Start date, February 26th, 2024 to today. And we have 110 days. Today is the 110 days that this boy has been gone. His mom has said he went to bed. There's light phenomenons going on inside that house. There's silhouettes on the inside of that house. There's what the neighbors described as the house going completely dark around 11:30. Completely dark. I wonder if law enforcement has reached out to their power company to see if there was a breaker or if there's any time that there was no power to their home. I'm curious about that because they talk about a house going completely dark, and some people brought up the fact that there may have been a breaker kicked. And if there was a breaker kicked and there's no power going in there, the power company should be able to see that. Everything's digital now. Let's see here. What do we got here? You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to open up the phone lines because we haven't opened up the phone lines in quite some time. And here we go. I think we need to open up the phone lines because I'd like to know what your thoughts and speculation is on this case, on the new stuff that we've gone over. If you guys haven't seen the new stuff that we've gone over, maybe we need to go over it again. But this is pretty damaging. We've got light phenomenons going on in the house. We've got light phenomenons going on outside of the house afterwards. We've got we got someone walking back. That just rolled off the tongue a little too quick, didn't it? We have someone walking back to the house from an unknown vehicle that looks like it could match Kathy Bowersock's vehicle. So I keep asking the public, and I'm just curious, why in the world are we still focusing on Seth or anything related to damaging Seth? I'm kind of a little confused about that. And hopefully somebody can tell me, because I would like to know your insight on it. Do we as a community think that like enough is enough at this point? I heard on a live earlier that they shut down or closed their Facebook. I don't know if that's true, but rumor has it. Well, they did lock down their Facebooks. If you're talking about Chris and Katie Proudfoot, they did lock down their Facebook accounts. Good gracious. When did they lock down their accounts? It was a few months, I don't know, 60 days ago, 45 days ago. I don't know. To be honest with you, I think it's written down in one of my pads somewhere. I remember hearing it, but I can't tell you. I can't remember when. I really can't. Not off the top of my head. I wish I did, but I'm sure somebody in the chat saw your post and will be able to post that. Did someone kill the power to kill the cameras? Well, here's what. Everybody that I've talked to, this is, believe it or not, every person I talked to tell me there was no cameras in that house. So I don't know what to say. I don't know if they just didn't, if there were some there and they didn't know it, or if there truly were no cameras. But every person that I've talked to that has been inside that home hasn't told me anything about any cameras. So I really, I'm kind of on the fence because I too have been, you guys know how I felt about it. Like even Nancy Grace, when she was asking about cameras, I thought it took them entirely too long to respond. I was absolutely positive that there is no earthly way that they didn't have cameras. I mean, she works for Brinks. I mean, she's a freaking electrical engineer or maybe not an electrical engineer, but an electrician. I don't know. It just seemed so odd for them not to have cameras, but I've been trying to corroborate it and I can't. And actually, as a matter of fact, every time I try to, it bodes into Chris and Katie's favor. So I can't sit here and assume that they had cameras when I've been trying to prove that they have cameras. And every person I've talked to, I'm hitting nothing. If they had cameras, people didn't know about them. So I thought I saw on a channel today they found a child somewhere thinking it could be. No. What had happened? Okay, so here's the issue. So this is kind of breaking news, okay? And I know this because I personally viewed images. This looks like an older person. There was a gentleman that disappeared in January in, I think it was Henderson County, something like that. Henderson County, Tennessee. I don't, what is it? Let me just pull it up. I'll tell you what I think it is. And I was talking to Crime Stories Obsessed, because we discussed this. She's the one that found, which reminds me, if you guys need to go sub up Crime Stories, hold on just a second. This is.
Hi, Betty. It's Pam at All Injustice. Listen, there's a 16-year-old boy that's been found in a cemetery in Henderson County, and it's Spring Hill Cemetery.
Are you sure he's 16 years old? Because I was.
Yeah. Here, can I drop the link in your chat? I'm in your live show.
Actually, can you email it to you? You won't be able to drop it because you're not a mod, but I'll stay on the phone with you.
I'll send it.
Stay on the phone with me.
Okay, hold on. I'll email it right over. Hold on a sec.
Okay. Yeah, you can just sit on the phone with me.
Yeah, I went to the news channel.
Uh-huh.
And I just listened to the the quick clip on it, and it's cemetery.
Yeah, I did hear about the body, but we were looking at some images, and it looked like it could potentially be an older man.
According to what the reporter just said on the link that I sent you, it's female newscaster was talking.
Uh-huh.
You want to take a look at that?
Yeah, I'm going to look at it right now while I'm on the phone with you. So if I have any questions, there you are. Give me just a second. Oh, okay. So they're already releasing some information. Let's see what this has to say here. So
Henderson County, is that the same county?
Yeah, this is exactly what I was just talking about. So this is going to update the whole audience. So I appreciate it.
No problem.
Let me go ahead and play this. I've got to share this screen, and then if you want to, call back.
Okay, bye.
All right, love. Thanks.
No problem.
All right, let's go over here and just listen to what we found. This is the case that I was just talking about, so God bless her. That's what I love about this audience. It's awesome, baby.
Since 2004, Window World of Jackson has sold over 100.
Window World of Jackson. If you're in Jackson, please buy your American U.S.-made windows today. I love USA products.
Just call Window World today and take advantage of 15 months.
I'm a stickler. I'm a stickler.
A strange discovery of a body found in a cemetery.
Oh, well, let me get it bigger than that. All right, sorry, guys.
Questions. WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News reporter Brian Brooks has that story.
A tragic discovery in southern Henderson County as investigators are trying to uncover the details as to what happened. The sheriff's office is reserving comment at this time. The Henderson County Sheriff's Office is currently investigating a 16-year-old boy found deceased at the Spring Hill Cemetery in Sardis, Tennessee. It's an unfortunate circumstance that has left some unsettled and wondering what caused this to occur. Sources also say that a 13-year-old girl found the body and her mother dispatched it to police. It's unclear at this time how the young man ended up in the cemetery. The last recorded burial at the Spring Hill Cemetery dates back to April of 2004, with most of the graves unmarked and unidentified. As of now, the body has not been identified or the cause of death. We'll share more details about this incident as they become available. In Henderson.
So it sounds like they must know who that belongs to. They have to know who that 16, I mean, even though they haven't, publicly identified him, for them to say a specific age, talk about close in age. Oh my, that gives me goosebumps. It gives me goosebumps, y'all. I don't know. I had an odd feeling about this particular one because they weren't usually, I can gauge like just by the way the person describes, the event typically, but this one, I was looking for some interviews of the people. Usually news reporters run right out. And, with this being so close in age, I still want to monitor this. I mean, I really do. I want to monitor this because I got an uneasy feeling about how tight-lipped it was to begin with. And then I thought it was the older guy. So I wasn't, I was just about to tell you about the older guy because I just saw some images and you clearly see like this cowboy, it looks like a cowboy boot, and it looks like the person kind of, I don't know. We were looking at some images. And so now that I'm hearing that, and I was, completely fine with it being an older person, but now that this person is still remained unidentified, and now we're finding out it's a 16-year-old male, and my subject is a 15-year-old male. I don't know how I don't know if how comfortable, because people make clerical errors all the time. You see what I'm saying, to tamper down some stuff. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm still not comfortable with this. I think that the age is a little too close. They haven't identified this person. God be with the family of this child. 16 years old. Some parent is receiving it, again, if it's not our subject, I don't want to say it's our subject at all. They said 16, but I don't know. I was just about to tell you there was no way it could be him. It's funny how things, change on a dime, right? Thank you, All Injustice. Thank you for calling that in, because I was literally about to say what I thought it was, which was an older man, and I can't show the images that I have on here, but I now that I'm hearing that it is a 16-year-old kid. But do you know when his birthday is? Somebody was just asking that in chat, Misty, about what his birthday is. I don't know. I really don't. So this is a little concerning. Let's see if there's any, sometimes they put extra stuff in the details here. Let me just read the article. Probably says the exact same thing he said. So his report was 16. The written stuff here has no age identified on it. So he's boots on the ground. I would trust, I don't think he would put an age on it without a resource telling him an age. Maybe he called up the corners and had them, if they couldn't release the name, at least, the age. But if they said the age of 16, they didn't say they thought he was 16 or he was, an adolescent male between, 13 to 18. They were very specific on 16 years old, which kind of leads me to believe that they know what the identity of this child is already. We just aren't privy to that because they need to check, contact the next of kin. Admin incest group said he got a call from the sheriff's office that states it wasn't okay. That's right. I did post that. I remember that now. Yeah, that's right. You're right. He did get the call. He did. They wouldn't have given him that call unless they were for sure. So they have to know who that kid is. I mean, for them to say 16 years old, I mean, that's we watch this all the time. They always give us a range. When they don't know, they always give us a range. 16 was a little too exact. So I think we should probably be saying a prayer, some prayers for another mom right now. And I mean that because if it's not one of our subjects, that means somebody's getting horrible news. I can't imagine. Jazz, I'm not certain. Let me see here. Give me just a second and I'll find out. Oh, that's the one I just got. Okay, I don't want to watch that one again. I'm looking for it. Let me put Tennessee in here. It's not really giving me a whole lot. Oh, let me go over to all. Here we go. This is the one I need. All right. 2 hours and 22 minutes. Wow. 2 hours and 22 minutes away via I-40. But it's east and I-65. But it's ew, hold on here. I wonder if I can add another destination. Yeah, I can. Let's do Yogi. Find out where Yogi Bear is from there. Huh? Holy shit. It's slap dead in the freaking middle. I ain't lying, y'all. Slap dead in the middle of the trip. Slap dead in the middle of the trip. Here's Yogi. Here's their home. This is where the child is. Oh my God. Is that one of my... Where's my cell phone? Guys, give me a second. Oh, there it is. I wonder if this was on one of my maps, because I think this might have been on one of my maps, because this area looks... Let me go back to my maps. Let me get back to my maps. This is like frickin', I ain't lying. This is a little freaky for me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I wasn't feeling good about this when I heard this like, I know they're saying it's not him. I got to keep remembering that they did tell Seth it definitely wasn't Sebastian. But I'm telling you, this is kind of creeping me out, because it's literally halfway, the halfway point. And I am pretty sure that I have a picture of this. Let me keep looking. I got Salem Cemetery on here, but I didn't see that one. Hold on, let me look. I'll have to look at these later, but I could have sworn that looks like one of the stuff and actually I don't think I saved it in here. I think it's in my Mod Squad chat, because I remember one night we were up until like 4 o'clock in the morning, and we were literally going over all the maps. And I remember there was one that came off almost like that. But either way, if it's not him, it's not him. But it is kind of, I got to be honest with you, I'm a little creeped out by this. Just a little bit. I mean, it's like literally slap dead in the middle. Like in the middle of the drive from his house to his RV. All right. Well, if it's not him, it's not him. You know, I know. The only thing I can think of is they must know who he is, because usually when they find remains, if they know it's a like a teen or an adolescent, a juvenile, they'll say it's a juvenile between, 12 and 19, or a juvenile between 12 and 18, or something like that. They will they'll put a range there. So to hear the news person, like, just for my ears, to hear the news person say 16, that implies to me that whoever gave him that information, which I know they would be getting from a reliable source, knows who the subject is and stated 16. The devil in Tennessee, but one good news, Russia president wants to quit war now. Poor people, homeschools demolished. Aw, that's sad. Misty is saying, sorry, but I'm side-eyeing. Yes! Well, they've lied to us already before, so we know they'll do it again. We know that they'll do it again, especially in this case. They have this case so tight-lipped that it's making me feel a little uncomfortable, because they're not releasing the juvenile's name. This is slap dead in the middle of this. They had such very, very scant information up front. I even told my mod squad, I said, I'll read exactly what I said when I read this. I'll have to find it, but it was something to the effect of, I don't feel good about this because it's so vague. It's so vague. Oh, come on. There we go. This is what I wrote. I said, yes, the information is so scarce. I usually can determine man or female, even when I don't know, just by how people describe what they saw. But I need to see if there's any interviews. And I couldn't find any interviews. And I even wrote, it could be anyone. Sounds pretty rough there. So I was trying to find interviews. And I got to tell you, it was just the information's very scant. And now I'm finding out that it's 16. I mean, I don't know. That's pretty stinking close. Oh my gosh, I didn't see all these. Pearl Harbor. Is it Pearl Harbor Day? What is Pearl Harbor? What? What? If it is, I'm going to laugh. It's December 7th. Okay. Why did you say Pearl Harbor Day? Yeah, there's got to be an inside joke for that. I'm not getting it. I'm sorry, Misty. I'm not getting it. Oh, thank God it isn't Sebastian. Lord be with the family of the male found. Absolutely. Do you think Ellie is going to do anything? Do it? I guess. Well, after, I wasn't going to play it tonight. I was going to play it tomorrow because, tomorrow's the 1-year anniversary. We're going to be talking about Summer Wells. But it's like, I didn't even like how TBI was talking about Summer Wells. Like, I don't even know what to comment, honestly, anymore. I really just don't even know what to comment anymore about whether Ellie's going to do anything. I don't know. This is Tennessee. They don't follow normal laws. I don't know what to say. They do their policing and their court stuff a lot different than I've seen. Like, Katie would be in jail right now. Here, she would be in jail. She would be in jail on something. You were the only person in the house. You can't produce your kid, and there's no evidence he walked out. You're in jail. Sorry, but I'm side-eyeing LE because no one has been arrested. And a 16-year-old male body found en route to Memphis. Yes, I didn't know that. I didn't even look at it, to be honest with you. Oh, thank you, Jen. God bless you. God bless you. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think to look because I figured, I remember posting. That's why I didn't look, because I remember posting that Seth had said it, because I posted it. And then right after I posted it, I saw the post from Braggs, whatever his name, Braggs guy. And so right after that, like it just in a few minutes after I had posted that a body was found, then I posted, and I even posted, I think even that post said I'm a little concerned about this because of the lack of news or something like that. And then right after that, I saw the Bragg post, and so I posted that. And then somebody, I think it was in Find Sebastian Rogers group, that posted that Seth was contacted by the local law enforcement and it was not his son, which obviously a father, that's good news to a father. You know, there's a piece of me that just, you know, hopes that he gets clarity very soon about what happened, you know, about where his son is, and hopefully he can be reunited with his son. But this is just, I ain't digging this, guys. I ain't digging this. This is a little uncomfortable for me right now. So, and not only that, but you got to remember, this is the same law enforcement that told us that it was a dump truck going through the middle of the yards. It was the, you know, law enforcement that told us that those lights that were you know, reported to the public weren't anything of evidentiary value. You know? So, I mean, we have to understand law enforcement has a job to do. And their job is to make sure we don't, you know, their job is to contain information. Our job is to expose information. You see the tug and pull we have here, you know? So they're trying to contain it. We're trying to get it. It is a balancing act that I can't even imagine. I would not want to be law enforcement and covering this case and having all of us looking at them. I really would not. So we know why they have to do what they have to do. There's only limited people that could be involved in this young boy's life. There's only limited people that have access to this boy. There's only limited people that have motive, means, and opportunity. There's only limited people. So the more we know, the more we point the finger legitimately at some people, it's going to get them to stop talking. It's going to make them lawyer up. It's going to cause, you know, additional stresses for law enforcement. Would they lie to us about this boy? You know, a piece of me says yes, a piece of me says no, but it's like, you know, if it was him, like Chris and Katie would be shaking in their boots right now, because even though we don't know, they would, you know, they would know whether this was, you know, something related to Sebastian or not. 16 years old, halfway there. I'm going to trust the police on this, but I feel like we should have a name within 24 hours. If we don't have a 16-year-old boy's face and name in 24 hours, I'm going to be very concerned. I'll put it like that. You know, within 24 hours, his family should be contacted. The next of kin should be notified. They should have that done by today. This name should be released by tonight, but if not, within 24 hours. If we do not have a name for this boy that was found in that cemetery within 24 hours, I would say it's time for us to be a little concerned. They may be saying that so CP doesn't have time. I don't know, because he would know. He would know where he put him. And with him being gone as long as he is, and this is just off the beaten path, I think Chris would have had time to hide him a little better. You know? Katie needs to locked in a cell with no contact with Chris. I don't think she could hold out that long in there. No, I don't think she could. I think when she hears those doors slam behind her and she realizes she is no longer the good guy that she once was, I think it'll send a shiver to her core. You know, I think it'll do something to her. You know, I think it jolt her. I hope it does. it'll let her know that, her gig's up. But they can't just go out and arrest people on suspicion. They have to have something concrete. If everybody was arrested on a suspicion of a crime, the jails would be completely, they have to have a little more meat to the bones than some hazy videos. Is this damaging? Is this going to be used in court to help seal the deal? Yes, it is. But it's not enough right now. What I've seen right now is very damaging. The noose is wrapping around these two people's heads right now and tightening on the daily. But what I presented would not be enough. It's not enough. They need something like forensic evidence. I think it's definitely enough for a warrant, a search warrant for that entire home. I think what we saw is definitely enough for that. So I don't understand why we don't have a search warrant to do forensic testing for 1008 Stafford Court. I don't understand that. Some of the locals are commenting that there is a local teen missing and his car was located close by. Just letting you know what I am seeing from locals commenting. Thank you so much. Keep those comments coming. So it looks like this is legit. That's why they know the age of the boy. Wow. Like right in the middle. Wow. Just saying. Just saying. Jeez. Someone else previously mentioned the alert for a missing boy in Tennessee just a few days ago who was 16 years old. So it must be that 16 years. So sad. Another mama. I bet she's going to be grieving the loss of her son. I bet she will. I bet she's going to miss her son an awful lot. Someone in chat, don't remember the creator, said, I could see someone burying him in a cemetery. Yes, that's why I've got a few cemeteries on my list. I don't think he'd bury him in the cemetery unless they're older. Like, I think if there was a kind of a dilapidated cemetery that's not being, I could see something like that. I don't see one that has a groundsman that he'd be going there. You got to remember there are some groundsmen that live on these cemeteries, that monitor these cemeteries. So even if you went out there at night, you can't really do anything because they're there. They'll run you off. There's also I've seen dogs that they have for security on cemeteries. I mean, if you're there for a legitimate purpose, even at night, to show your respect, maybe it's something special you did with your loved one. I don't think they would keep you out. Someone claimed to see, yes, and those I do have those images. I think Sebastian is still alive. I hope he is, but I just don't. I've tried to make myself believe that, and every time I try to think that there's, I don't know. It's hard. I just want, if you know what, it doesn't really matter what I think as long as he's brought home, right? But right now, that's the problem. That's the biggest problem. Katie knows she should at least be charged with not child neglect. I think the information that they have, the CPS going over there. I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of upset because I feel like every time we come to these cases, it's not all, it just seems like every time we have cases like this, CPS is always involved. Like, if you're involved, like, that whole purpose of us spending billions of dollars, millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe not billions, but hundreds of millions of dollars. The whole purpose of that is so this doesn't happen. And that's my problem here, is that every time we come to a case like this, CPS is involved. The people that are supposed to stop this from happening are already involved and have been involved. It's the same way with Summer Wells. It's the same way with this case. CPS was involved. Look, like recently involved. Like, what's the purpose of the children welfare or child protective services or whatever the hell you want to call it? What is the purpose of that if not to save the blessed kids? And every time we turn around, they're involved and we still have kids missing. I just don't get it. It's getting irritating. It's getting frustrating. And in these two in Tennessee are starting to really piss me off, to be honest with you. And then we hear the TBI come out, which thank God they actually did something for her this year instead of just a freaking little, post that basically say bug off. At least the guy actually made me feel like he gave a damn, which gives me a little hope for her. It seems like he was being real, You guys don't know what I'm talking about. You're going to want to, tune in tomorrow morning to the Bullhorn Betty channel as we have the horrible day of welcoming the milestone number 3 for Summer Wells. That, of course, TBI is involved in. I don't really, the only thing I have a problem with the TBI is the whole damn state. Like, you guys, this damn state needs to be working on their laws. It should not be this hard to get bad parents behind bars in Tennessee. It just should not be. The Wells should have been in jail. The way that they had those kids living, the crap that they had those children exposed to, those parents should be in jail. Would they be in jail for the rest of their life for those charges? Of course not. But I'm great with 2 to 5 years. If you ask me, I'm just fine with that. At least I feel like the needle's freaking moving. I sat down personally with the state attorney in Hopkins County. Personally. And that was 3 years ago. And they assured me that when charges are brought to whomever is responsible, all the charges. And I kept asking them, well, first of all, we don't even know, at this time, if they're going to be charging the Wells, right? It could be a number of people. Just because we think it's the Wells doesn't mean that would be who's ultimately charged. We got a lot of information that lays the case out kind of like this for the Wells. And I've got to tell you, they told me that they would charge everything. And I specifically said the child welfare. And I even asked them, why are you not going after the low-hanging fruit and getting them off the streets now? And she would not answer me. She would not answer me. And here we are 3 years later. 3 years later. And no child neglect charges. No nothing. No nothing. So much for that book, lady. So much for that book. Because you could have charged them by now. Now the statutes of limitations for some of those charges might be gone. You want to know why? Because great old Hopkins County decided to drag their ass. They didn't need help from anybody. Remember that. John Pruitt mocking people. Professional outfit there in Hopkins County. Got to tell you. Got to tell you. And then they add insult to injury by voting the same jackass back in as sheriff. Like, how many times do you guys need to hit the wall? How many times? You guys got a corrupt county. Corrupt in Hopkins County. I've looked into it myself. Politicians going to jail for drugs. I mean, guys, it's a hot damn mess in Hopkins County. Embezzlement. Hot damn mess for such a small county. And then they vote the same damn Yahoo back in as sheriff. Just saying. You guys need to start smartening up. if the people that you're paying in your community aren't producing the results you need, you know what? Your next vote needs to be fired. Fired. I don't care what party aisle we're on. It's just that simple. If they're not producing, fire them. All right. So we've got Sebastian. We got Summer Wells. We're going to go over the statements from TBI tomorrow on the 3-year milestone. And it's going to be a sad day tomorrow. Summer Wells should have been brought home. You know? Summer Wells should have been brought home. And her parents should have been charged with something unrelated to her disappearance. 3 boys are now a product of that state, and they haven't charged the parents with one crime against children. Not one. Not one. So, guys, I know we stay on here for a little bit. We did have the phones open for a little bit, and then we kind of took a dovetail into all this and kind of got sidetracked on this. But we really only run about an hour on these lives. I don't really want to bog you down with endless and meaningless stuff. I like to come here with the tidbits that you guys need to know. And so this is it. We're wrapping up, guys. I want to thank you so much. Yes, I know. And maybe we need to, maybe when the news cycle starts dying down a little bit, maybe we'll start, talking about topics like this, the CPS. There's a lot of stuff that we need to talk. I talk about it once a year. Whenever I go to CPAC, I end up taking cards and stuff like that to advocate for our children. Last year I did it, but last year was so freaking crazy that I basically was told last year I couldn't go. The year before that, I was looked at like I had 15 heads. I talked to some of my, the politicians higher up in the food chain that I don't get to unless I go to places like that know me, but don't know me. And I was able to sit down and talk to them, and they basically said that this is not an item that they're concerned with, because at the time they had Russian submarines off Florida and Chinese sky balloons in our air. So the last thing that they were thinking about is our children. And that does seem about right, doesn't it? I passed out cards to people directly. They're not taking this stuff seriously at the federal government, y'all. I will tell you that. And they're not going to until we get 35 states on board with changing the laws. And everybody thinks it's just going to magically happen. Nobody has to do nothing. Well, let me tell you something. Nobody's done nothing since 1969. Those are our laws. The laws that are running right now, our federal government, haven't been changed since 1969. When are we, the public, going to make our politicians make our children priority? That is our responsibility. 1969, y'all. We are in 2024. We are 40 years from the policies being almost a freaking 100 years old. But our government would rather have wars and send our money over to Pakistan than work on saving our children here. Something to think about, y'all. Have a good night. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Shit Show. Yay! Where we give you a dose of reality. And at the end of the day, the reason why you need a political activist also doing true crime is because of this right here. Okay? This right here, to me, is a problem. And we need to fix it. And Bullhorn Betty can't do it. Okay? She just can't. It's your responsibility to go into your county commission. It's your responsibility to go into your county commission. It's your responsibility to go into your county commission. It's your responsibility to write your politicians. I can tell you personally, from me to you, you guys can go on and see that I am politically in tune. Have a lot of people in politics. You guys can see that. I'm telling you that even with the little bit of, the yee bit of political capital that I have, I am told it is not a priority. So there you have it, folks. Our federal government is not making our children and their safety their top priority. And it is emboldened by the fact that our policies haven't changed since 1969. So hopefully everybody gets out there, if you really give a damn, and do your part. You know what your part can be when you work full time? Writing emails. You can sit up here on YouTube for 4 hours every evening, chatting and having a great time, and it could take you 15 minutes to get an email that will be impactful. Just saying. Just saying. Priorities. What is your priority? What is your priority? Let's get to work. Talk to you soon. God bless.
From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work. We will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. And more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America. And more importantly,
I'm hearing.
God bless
I'm hearing.
our
Hold on.
victims.
I'm trying to stop it. Give me just a second. Guys, I got something going on. There? Hello? Can you hear me? Yes, it is. Give me just. Oh shit! Hold on. I just put your damn shit. I just put your phone number up on my screen. God damn it! Excuse me. I'll have to go and edit. I just put your number on my screen because I had to refresh. I was trying to get you. So sorry about that. Hello? Hold on. I can't hear you. Just give me a second. Give me a second. My mics are not working right now. Give me. Oh, don't. Yeah.
Today, I think that they announced that Sebastian was missing.
Yeah.
And it has just worried me so bad. I have just prayed and prayed and prayed for him. And whenever you found the car that looked like his mother's car, and knew that the lights had went over to it.
Yeah.
Then I had been worrying about this, but it made me even worry more. You know, his family owns either a funeral home or a cemetery or something.
Yeah, we knew that. We knew that. But
I know it, but has anybody checked to see if there was a funeral around the time he was missing?
yeah, I believe people have. I personally have not. But we can definitely throw it out to the audience.
Yeah, because, I mean, it would be easy for them to just put him in with someone else, and he'd never be found.
Gotcha.
But if you knew that there was one the day before, after, or the next day,
Right.
even 3 days.
And not only that, but you know what? Chris did not go right back for his he didn't go right back for his camper. Like, that wasn't like everybody thought it was the very next day, but it was not, from my understanding.
No. Yeah.
So yeah, it could be possible. But I thought you were calling me in because Michelle had just tried to stop me and asked me to wait. And I thought you were Michelle. So I'm trying to get you up so people could hear you. And I like, your phone number was just like right on the screen. I'm like, no!
Yeah, it's okay.
I am
It's
so
all right.
sorry. You might want to turn your phone off just for like a day.
No, it's okay.
God bless
I
you.
get so many texts right now. You can't believe it just from, normal.
I am so sorry
But I
about
love
that.
your
I'm
show.
embarrassed.
I really love your show.
Oh, I appreciate it. God bless you.
And
God
I
bless
was
you.
thinking to myself, if I wanted to tell somebody that, to check about the cemetery or whatever,
Yeah.
and to me, you have worked so hard. I thought, I want to tell her. I want to talk to Betty.
Aw.
And so your number just flashed up on the top of my iPad.
I know, and it was so crazy because I was closing out, and then Michelle writes this message that I got it pinned up here, and then the phone's ringing. I'm like, and the show's ending, and I'm like, wait a minute, wow. It's like I'm just a little cray back here.
Okay.
Thank you so
But
much.
anyway, if you find out that it's something, I know that you would announce it on your show.
Oh yeah.
But you've got my phone number, so call me.
Well, so does about 400 other people.
Yeah.
I promise
My
you, as
name-
soon as I'm done here, it's going to take me about 2 hours, but I will put this in private status and edit that out.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
All right.
All right, honey.
Yeah, my name is Henry
Okay. Well,
with an I.
oh, nice. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
you know.
Well, Henry, thank you so much for all your help.
Yeah, thank you. You had worked so hard.
I appreciate
I
it.
don't know
God
how
bless
you
you.
sleep at night.
I appreciate it. God bless you, hon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so I gotta write this down because I'll forget as soon as I'm off here because, wow, I didn't mean for all that to happen. That was a little crazy. Woo! Okay, so let's get back to this. So Michelle is in here. It says, Betty, wait, 16-year-old boy found this AM in Natchez Trace Park Cemetery, was partially buried. Let's go here. I think Chris would do more than partial, but he seems like a worker. But let's look at this. I'm I don't think. I don't see anything in Natchez Trace Park Cemetery. It was in a different cemetery. It was in Spring Hill Cemetery. Are you talking about Spring Hill? Let me go down here. If somebody can clip, I don't know where other messages are from Michelle, but let me just keep, oh, I can see you now. Henderson County, is this Sebastian? Ellie is saying 16-year-old bar. Please talk to Seth, Betty. No, Seth has already, he has a statement out, or his admin on the Facebook group has a statement out right now that Seth received a call from LE, from Sumner County, and they informed, they wanted to make sure he knew that this was not his son. And Betty, there are two, what? Huh. Yeah, the body's not Sebastian. Yeah, it's a 16-year-old boy. I heard one of them is. Crime Stories is saying there's two. One was found a half-mile down the road from the cemetery, and the one in the cemetery. Were they both found on the same day, too? Remember, 17 hours unaccounted for. Two bodies found. Are we sure? One body, 16-year-old, found in cemetery, and the older man a half-mile down the road. Betty has seen the photos of. Yes, I've got the photos of those. So those, yeah, I knew that those were those. I didn't know where it was taken. I thought that was the one from the cemetery. I don't know who the cemetery is. I think it could be, Lord help us, two bodies. The only other body found was the infant, when you would think the cop would have went to the house and start to, unless he was in a hurry or just disturbed before the job was complete. I don't know. I haven't heard this. Can somebody, is there any way for somebody to send me a link? Can you guys send it to my email, bullhornbetty@gmail.com? Let me look at it. Oh, I don't think. Hold on. Let me. Oh, you know what? He might want to be. Hold on. Let me mute you guys just for a second. All right, so neither one is Sebastian. So we've got confirmation that neither one of these people are Sebastian. So, and it's a strong no, neither. So there is that. But we were going out, guys. We're going out. It's time for me to close out the show. We already closed it out, so I'm just gonna power down at this point. I don't think you guys need to hear my my exit song again. So I saw this pop up. I wanted to make sure that we stopped. I was about to hit end stream. Phone's ringing. And I gotta close this out, and I've got to edit that. So if anybody wonders why this is going to be in private mode, you guys know I accidentally doxed a beautiful young lady, and we need to make sure that is only contained to this many people. So I will see you guys later. God bless you, and until next time.